Hey there, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what is going on with your astrological forecast for the month of December 2021. And just a quick heads up, we are going to be touching a bit on Venus retrograde in Capricorn, as well as, of course, Jupiter entering Pisces in this video. However, I have also published 2 videos going way in depth on those transits, and so I do recommend you check them out if you want more of a big picture discussion of them, and you can follow the links below for that, or go to my main channel page. They are under the Major Astrology Shifts playlist. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, you can go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. And don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe. Y'all know I appreciate it. So, speaking of Venus, let's start there. What is going on with Venus in December? Venus is in Capricorn all month, the area that rules your past, privacy, hidden zone, the hidden self, or hidden knowledge, secrets. And Venus is not retrograde here all month. In fact, Venus is direct here for the first 2.5 weeks of the month. And remember, Venus is the planet of favor, popularity, love, and affection. And with Venus in the 12th house, a lot of you Aquarian people are getting a chance to revive a lot of old romantic fantasies, a lot of old love languages, possibly even old romantic eras or chapters in your life that you would like to bring into the present, whether it applies to those of you that are in existing, marriages or committed relationships, maybe returning to times in your relationship or in your family life where you really felt like you were in the zone together, maybe even reviving an old love language or an old expression of love. And I'm going to leave it at that without getting too smutty. Possibly even getting into a space where you are able to explore some fantasy fulfillment when it comes to maybe desires, proclivities, or wishes you have romantically or intimately that you've not necessarily been able to fully explore or flesh out. And for those of you that are single or available, this is also on the table for you. You'll just most likely be attracting that from new people that would be available to it. Now, after the 19th, right, Venus is retrograde in this part of your chart through the 29th of January, 2022. And with Venus retrograde in the 12th house, it can be a bit of a difficult time to deal with a lot of insecurities, volatility, escapism, and immaturity, especially when it comes to past issues that have not been sufficiently cleared. Now, because this is happening in the 12th house, this is not just isolated to the realm of romance. Sometimes Venus retrograde in the 12th house can finally bring out confessions, can bring out or reveal the other side of long-standing stories, dropping veils left and right around social matters, family matters, as well as things that have been suppressed or ignored, right? We talk about escapism. Now we're seeing the consequences of that. And we want to make sure that we understand that this is happening for our benefit, though it may not feel like it in the moment, right? Venus puts pressure on the cracks that are already there so that we do something about the cracks. When we go through this transit in the 12th house, it may also be a time where we clear and heal a lot of stigmas and a lot of challenges that ultimately have kept us from feeling completely whole, not only within ourselves, but in the way we relate to the world and our connections with others, friends, family, and lovers alike. Now, this is going to have a lot of the edge taken out of it, thankfully, in December, as we also have the Sun in this part of your chart and Mercury in this part of your chart in the second half of December. Now, the Sun is bringing attention, enhancement, and support. And whenever the Sun is in the 12th house, we are also talking about patching up. So there could be a lot of patching up going on, a lot of healing going on, especially as it relates to estranged connections or maybe even estranged opportunities, dreams that were maybe blocked, or passions or desires or activities that ultimately you wish you had kept in your life. Also, with the Sun in Capricorn, we may be building new bridges with old friends, old contacts. This may not necessarily have to do with any kind of controversy or anything negative. It could just be happening while all of the Venus retrograde stuff is happening. And yet we are recovering some very pleasant connections in our support system from, years bygone. This is also a time for a lot of you Aquarian people to get back in touch with aspects of yourself that you had left behind for other stories. Again, whether they are vocational goals, passions, hobbies, spiritual practices, and just ways of being that ultimately have been left in the cupboard or left on a high shelf for far too long. Mercury is opening up lines of communication as well with matters of the past that are really relevant and really supportive to you. You may be hearing about opportunities to do some serious recovery when it comes to even money, finances, business. Mercury in the 12th house is opening up secrets. Secrets are being revealed across the board, it seems like, for you Aquarian people. And yet, at the same time, these new bridges, these new lines of communication, or these veils dropping, are also coming with their own fair share of rewards in all areas of your life. It could be arduous in some days, some weeks, but at the same time, the reward is there. The level up opportunities are there. In fact, you may also be bringing something current that has fallen behind that you really wish you could conclude or maybe take to the next level as far as a personal enterprise or a personal ambition is concerned. Now, the first half of the month, we have the Sun in Sagittarius and Mercury in Sagittarius, which is your 11th house of friendships, social networking, your social support system. And with the Sun in Sagittarius, we have that attention, enhancement, and support coming your way. This is a time to really bond with a lot more levity, a lot more adventure, and a lot more recreation in all of your social connections. You are getting closer to your friends, and you are actually getting a chance to feel real community without any kind of performativity or without any kind of distraction. People are free to really be themselves. And you are also finding that you are not only attracting a lot of new attention and support to yourself that could be used in all kinds of different ways, but you are also getting a chance with the Sun in the 11th house to redraw your round table, to be a lot closer, a lot more involved, and you get the sense of a truly supportive and intact village for yourself to keep as we go on through the month. Mercury here is also speeding up developments towards a major bucket list goal or a major bucket list dream you have. And you also are going to find that with Mercury in the 11th house, there is also a lot of productivity taking place around certain projects or maybe certain initiatives or enterprises where you need more hands on deck. Are you looking to do more networking? Are you looking to actually recruit more people to a cause that you're a part of? Are you looking to maybe broadcast yourself, propagate your name? You may find that some very powerful alliances are in the offering for you this month. We also have Mars in your 10th house of career for the first 2 weeks of the month, Scorpio. And Mars is the planet of action, passion, energy, as well as obstacle clearing. Now, Mars in any financial or business-oriented house is going to be having us work very, very hard. We're going to be burning the midnight oil a lot, but this can be really good for a lot of you Aquarian people looking to get way ahead and make a big score as we transition into next year financially. Mars is also going to be putting you in a lot of positions where you have to be ready to compete. And whether that's competing with a rival business or maybe a rival colleague or a rival service, Mars is doing this so you can actually, put yourself out there in a unique way. With Mars in the 10th house, you may be finding this is a very driving time towards a major promotion or elevation of status should you take it up and take it upon yourself to compete sportingly. Sportingly. Don't go to war and make it personal. Compete sportingly. After the 13th, Mars enters your 11th house of friendships and social networking, where he will remain through the end of January. Mars in the 11th house, you're getting a lot of new recruits, as we've talked about, your friends coming more closely on your quests, on your adventures, on your missions. Mars is actually having a lot of people show up for you to assist you with fighting your battles if you need that. If you need help doing some serious obstacle clearing. Mars in your 11th house is all about forming stronger, more passionate bonds among your peers. Again, your brothers, your sisters, brothers and sisters from other mothers, getting that sense of fellowship really, really strong and really, really tight. Bringing in that passion, that energy, and that action as well. A lot of you are going to find that you are getting the hookup from a lot of friends for a lot of new, more prestigious opportunities than maybe you were aware of before. Maybe people are bringing you hidden knowledge. They're bringing you hidden hookups. You are also going to find, however, with Mars in the 11th house, the fake or the fair weather types are also going to be exposed. There could be some clashes going on the second half of the month when it comes to certain friends or certain friendship groups, especially with a lot of veils dropping with Venus retrograde in the 12th house. That being said, the cream of the crop is going to rise, and that's all that matters. We also have Jupiter moving into Pisces, into your second house of earned income, employment, your values, and your valuables on the 29th of the month. And he will spend most of his time in Pisces for, a lot of, or most of his time, let's just say the majority of 2022. Gosh, I've said this 1,000 times already. Why did I mess it up there? No. Jupiter will be spending the vast majority of time in your second house of earned income throughout 2022. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, wealth, novelty, growth, and even pleasure. And so what happens when we have Jupiter go into our second house, it's one of the most lucrative times. We tend to jump up a tax bracket, if you will. A lot of you Aquarian people are not only going to be sitting very pretty, but you may even be stepping into a space where you are realizing you're hitting a no going back zone when it comes to your earning power and possibly even the material legacy you leave to your family or what you can do for your community, what you can do for your friends, what you can do for your whole industry. Jupiter in the second house is also going to be putting a lot of eyes on you, whether it's eyes on you and your role, eyes on you and your company, going on the rise there. You may be noticing a lot of new value coming to the work and the service that you provide to the world. A lot of raises and promotions in the offering coming up as well throughout 2022. So enjoy it. Make sure to save a little, but good on you. Finally, we have some very neat lunations to consider as well. We have a new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius, that 11th house of friendships and social networking and community. And this is going to be opening up a big window from the 4th of December through the beginning of March 2022. Now, a new moon is all about new beginnings, and when we have a solar eclipse, it's amplified exponentially in its power. Your whole sense of social support systems or whole sense of community, whole sense of belonging, whole sense of tribe is going through a radical transformation over this coming 90 days because with the new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius, we are delving into not only deeper, more transparent and consistent bonds, but we are actually finding that we are now getting a sense of home in the world with a new social, setup, new social network, new platform with which to build that world on. This can actually be a very exhilarating time. I'm also seeing a lot of new adventures getting started for you, Aquarian people. Some of you may find that this is opening up opportunities for travel, especially when it comes to travel to accomplish or achieve maybe some kind of lifelong wish or bucket list item. And a lot of you are also going to find with the solar eclipse new moon in the 11th house, you are also getting a chance to take on a completely new expression with the way you connect to your friends and your community. Essentially almost living a whole new story or a whole new life that is actually more true deep down to the core than you have led until now or been able to lead until now. We also have a full moon in Gemini, your 5th house of love, romance, as well as creativity, recreation, and your relationships with your kids or parenthood. And a full moon is going to bring culminations and transitions. We are closing up a major era. We are closing up a story that is playing out in this area of your life. Now, with the full moon in the 5th house, this is going to bring a lot of situations to a head so that they can graduate, reorienting ourselves in a completely new way of relating to one another, and maybe even change our trajectory as a parent and child, or as a couple, or maybe for a lot of you even ending an era of a dry spell, ending a time of singledom, because a full moon is all about advancing something through its life cycle to its highest point, to its highest potential. So a lot of you are going to find that we're raising the roof energetically in this spot of your in this part of your chart, but also with the full moon in Gemini, a lot of you are going to get a new sense of establishment, reevaluating all of these relationships as well. This could change a lot of the love languages that you exchange with your partners, as well as change the dynamic or the communication styles, or even the type of bond you have with your kids. But what's happening is we are dropping the old in order to make way for a completely new way of being. So that is what I've got for you all. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Y'all know I appreciate it. And should you ever wish to get a session with me, go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.